But let's start. So first of all, Sam Seder. If you guys don't know who Sam Seder is, he is a leftist commentator or YouTuber. He has about like 1 million subscribers, 2 million, I don't remember. But he's one of the biggest leftists on the entire platform. He went on the H3H3 podcast with Ethan Klein, and that podcast is also one of the biggest in the entire or on YouTube. And essentially what happened was, I'll give you the whole rundown because Sam Seder makes a bunch of videos on this topic, but I'm going to kind of explain what happens and then we'll go into what happened when Sam Seder ended up finally debating Steven Crowder. So basically, a few years ago at Politicon, which is a political convention where everyone debates and stuff, like people like Ben Shapiro debated Cenk Uygur, who's another big leftist. It's a yearly thing that they do. And a few years ago at Politicon, Steven Crowder, who's the biggest conservative on the entire platform, I'm pretty sure, he was supposed to debate Sam Seder. And then Sam Seder got a call from the people at Politicon who told him that Steven Crowder backed out of the debate. And his booking, the person who does Steven Crowder's booking, who is also his dad, coincidentally, pulled him out of the debate, presumably because he didn't want his son to get wrecked by Sam Seder, because we all know Steven Crowder has no idea what the hell he's talking about. What's up, JJ? I was literally watching the Hawks versus Buck when my notification came up about you. Thank you. I think that's probably more entertaining than watching me rant, but I appreciate you for stopping by. So he backs out of the debate, Politicon. That kind of gets him clouded on the internet. They're like, oh, Crowder got cold feet, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, he's basically weak for not wanting to debate him. So then I think sometime later, Sam Seder was supposed to go on Milo Yiannopoulos, not him. What's his name? The guy who like basically started the Proud Boys. Wait, was it him or was it Stephen Molyneux? I don't remember. But he's supposed to go on some right-wing person's show and debate Steven Crowder again. And Steven Crowder backed out again. So then we get to recently. I think it was about a week ago or something. Sam Seder gets an email from Ethan Klein, because basically Steven Crowder is one of those conservatives who likes to debate people who aren't politically inclined or who doesn't know much because it makes him look smart. Steven Crowder claims to hate leftists, yet he left when Sam appeared curious. Exactly. He claims that nobody on the left wants to debate him, but he's been ducking Sam for years now. So Ethan Klein got offered to debate Steven Crowder, and Ethan Klein is not educated really on politics. So he emails Sam Seder and he's like, I know dude's been ducking you. In fact, I think one of Ethan's like producers on the show went viral for like just saying, yo, Sam Crowder. I knew I was going to get the names mixed up. But going viral for just saying like, yo, Steven Crowder, debate Sam Seder. Do it. So Ethan gets offered to debate Steven Crowder. And he's like, I don't really know much about politics, so I'm going to go hit up Sam Seder, see if he wants to do it. Sam Seder goes, yes. And then something weird starts happening. They notice that, like a couple days prior to the appearance on Steven Crowder's show, Sam ends it was supposed to happen, and then Sam started and ended his show earlier, like about 30 minutes earlier, so he could go on Ethan's podcast and confront Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder apparently noticed this because apparently they were monitoring Sam Seder's show, and then he left. He backed out and he claimed that his pregnant wife was having some sort of emergency. We'll go on to figure out that this was false, and he literally just backed out because he had people watching Sam Seder's show and noticed that it ended a little bit early and right around the time that Ethan was supposed to go live. So he kind of put two and two together and figured Sam might pop up, let me ditch, and claim that my pregnant wife had an emergency, which is very sick and very cowardly. He does that. Then a couple days later, they have the appearance again, except for this time, they said that they wanted to schedule a week from that day and then like Monday at noon or something like that, which is very particular timing. So then that day comes, and they make sure that the appearance happens exactly when Sam Seder show's supposed to go live. So Sam Seder decides, let me record my episode in advance and pre-record it so it's not live so I can make the appearance. They do that. Sam ends up on Ethan's show with Steven Crowder, and what happens after then, it is absolutely magnificent. So we're going to dip into it. Gavin McGinnis. Yeah, it was Gavin McGinnis. It was either Gavin McGinnis or Stephen Molyneux. I don't remember whose show he was supposed to be on, but yeah. Steven didn't consent to a debate with Seder. Yeah, it's funny because, like, you can't say no one on the left wants to debate you, then go debate somebody who's not even on the left and not even politically educated, then duck and run when the one guy you're supposed to meant to be, like, debating shows up. So, yeah. They did finesse him, and we're gonna get right into the mayhem that ensued shortly thereafter. So let's get into it.
Why are enterprise retailers switching to bulk checkout?
Welcome, everybody, to a very special episode of the H3 Podcast. Today is my first ever debate against the one and only Steven Crowder, thank you very much. Thank you. Steven Crowder.
Please stand up.
Who's standing up?
Ethan, please stand up.
Ethan, oh, man.
Ethan, please stand up.
Who am I to disobey our great, glorious leader? Crowder challenged me to a debate. He called me a layup. He said I was stupid. Well, Steven, I think the debate speaks for itself. Steven Crowder, for those of you that don't know, is probably one of the most hateful, bigoted.
I've heard that YouTubers are getting penalized for playing this part of Ethan's video because of exactly how bigoted Steven Crowder is. So I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit and try to make sure that I don't get blocked on YouTube for some of the outrageous stuff that is said. You're on time. Merch.
People on the platform.
Here, let me.
All right, don't get so twisted up. Look how twisted he gets about me laughing about him crying all the time. He needs a box of tissue on his desk.
But I guess there's a ceasefire here, so we can talk about any genetic conditions like
Sure.
the lack of chin, lack of beard, 120-pound man wearing the Cinderella bandana on his head.
I have to go back. Never mind. I have to go
We
back.
had to cut all of that. He called me a layup. He said I was stupid. Well, Steven, I think the debate speaks for itself. Steven Crowder, for those of you that don't know, is probably one of the most hateful, bigoted people on the platform. Racist, homophobic. I mean,
Steven Crowder also inserts a very anti-Semitic comment at the end. I think I might have seen that in a clip about something with his eyes, but I haven't seen like the full actual thing. So
pretty much hits every box. We made this big, beautiful compilation of some of his greatest hits, but it's actually so heinous and offensive that YouTube age restricted the first upload of our video.
wow.
So that all is available for our members.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, his whole screed that he went on, or about his greatest hits or whatever. That's what he got penalized for that because of exactly how like racist and bigoted it was, because that's who Steven Crowder is.
Compilation, everything, which is, adds a lot of atmosphere. But for the sake of this version, we had to cut all of that out.
Imagine getting a strike on YouTube before Crowder did, and you've only been doing YouTube for a year. I've been doing YouTube consistently for, about a year. And imagine if my channel got struck because, like, I reacted to something that Steven Crowder did. What Steven Crowder's been on here for eternity.
But he is, let's just take my word for it in that case, a giant douche. Well, my tiff with Steven came when he said that our clip about COVID, when we were saying it's okay to listen to scientists, said it was his favorite clip of all time. We went back and forth for people who have been following, and Steven boldly challenged me to a debate and a video titled, Your Move, Ethan.
I will invite you on the show, Ethan Klein. I will have I'll follow you on Twitter. I will have Darren, my booker, reach out where you can come on this show.
Darren's his dad, by the way, right?
Darren.
It's your dad, bro. He keeps trying to hide that it's his dad. You guys will get more info about the dad. But Darren's his dad.
We usually go after political figures, authoritative sources right on this show. Usually those are the people who we have to debate. Change My Mind is not a debate, but we've had politicians.
Change My Mind is not a debate. Yeah, when you go and you sit by some random college students and say, here is my view on a controversial topic, tell me why I'm wrong. That's not a debate, according to Steven Crowder. Okay.
Scientists, Pulitzer winners, and every now and then a layup crosses our path. Who we just kind of like the shtick that you're only capable of.
Now, in our original video about Crowder, we had noticed that he had reached out to me to book me on his show, and he was kind of butthurt that I ghosted him all this time. And in this video, he claims here that he never reached out to a booker and that I'm lying about it. So here's what he says about that.
I'm going to assume that you didn't blatantly lie in some of the things that you said, that you're just really lazy or incapable of your due diligence. So you said we'll get to a female booker reached out to you for the show. Hey, Gerald, have I ever had a female booker?
That's a no.
Never,
That's
ever.
Ha! Never would have thunk it. Steven Crowder, not good with the ladies. Who would have pinned that on him?
Now you're either lying.
We don't work with women on this show. So that's impossible.
Or you're so lazy. Because I don't want to bully you, and then you go and try and get us moved. You're so lazy, you didn't even just verify the fact that it was complete.
Well, you know what? I took this to heart. So I said, you know what, Steven, I am going to look into this. I found the email that was sent to me. It was very professional. And it still had her social media contacts on it. And so I followed her down on Instagram, and I said, hey, blank, did you ever do booking for Louder with Crowder? I'm just trying to verify that this email I got from you inviting me on the show is real or not. Thanks. Here's the email, by the way. Super professional. Definitely a real email, by the way. This one in particular, she immediately responded to me. She said, yes, I did booking for him years ago for a few months. I'm not quite sure whose contact you'd have now. I know his dad does his booking for him, though. Let me know if you need it to try to find his contact. Interesting that she knows that detail. That makes me think that is very real. And that he's lying about inviting me on his show.
He's just a fat up for the online left, yup.
Well, yeah, and while we're talking about lying, Steven, why don't you tell him that you never filed a lawsuit? Tell us if you filed that lawsuit against YouTube, Steven. Come on.
Oh, did he actually not file the lawsuit?
And yeah, Steven says he doesn't want to bully me, but here he goes on to say this, and I am feeling very insecure.
Apparently, Steven Crowder was meant to sue YouTube over them not wanting. Wasn't it like they didn't want people spreading misinformation about COVID, and then he was like, "Oh, they're suppressing me, blah blah blah," because conservatives always do that. And they said that they were gonna, they banned him or something for like a temporary time because he was doing that and like talking about the election and stuff. And I guess he said he was gonna sue them, but never did. I don't know.
Secure now that Steven has taken a shot at me.
Wait, the Kleenex.
Let me just say, first of all, you have.
Hold on a second.
We were making fun of the fact that Steven had Kleenex on his table, which
people actually think Steven's funny. It's crazy to me.
Which is pretty funny, let's be honest. He's sitting there with gun holsters and tissue. I mean, what is he, crying every second? So listen to this.
Get out of here.
That's due to allergies, okay? So I had a bronchial thing, which is community guidelines in a mutable condition. It's genetic.
Oh, poor Steven with his allergies. Don't put the tissue on your desk. It's funny. All right, don't get so twisted up. Look how twisted he gets about me laughing about him crying all the time. He needs a box of tissue on his desk.
But I guess there's a ceasefire here, so we can talk about any genetic conditions like the lack of chin, lack of beard, 120-pound man wearing the Cinderella bandana on his head.
You think Ethan's 120 pounds? I'm 120 pounds. What?
That one I didn't get. What's the 120 pound? Cinderella?
I couldn't really
If
follow.
he's talking about me, I am not 120 pounds. Trust me, dude. We don't have a right. Well, anyway.
And to compensate with the beard that he uses just for men, or the.
Oh my God, Jesus!
Out of Vernon Central High School.
What's going on?
That's my
eyebrow phrase
favorite.
like E.T. in the cornfield. It's so stupid, bro.
Wait, what do you say?
The point is,
I always. Right.
Wait.
Well, anyway.
and to compensate with the beard that he uses just for men, or the
That's
eyebrow
my
phrase
favorite.
like E.T.
First of all, you don't have a chin either. Second of all, you're making fun of his Tourette's.
in the cornfield. It's so stupid, bro. The point is,
I always think it's like hilarious when people actually go to the debase themselves to making fun of my Tourette's. You know, it's like, well,
it's Steven Crowder. That is Crowder intellect at its finest. Hey, you said I had Kleenex on my desk, so I'm gonna make fun of the fact that you have Tourette's. All right.
Okay, dude.
Oh,
I
Lord.
really got you hard with the tissue thing, bro. Just don't put the tissue on. I can't hide my Tourette's.
You fired the first volley by making fun of his allergies. So.
Your allergies, dude. Poor
Which you
Steven
didn't
Crowder
actually
has
do.
a disability.
Yeah, we didn't realize he had a
know.
disability like that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, bro.
Ableist much?
Yeah, he said 120-pound man as an insult. Yeah.
I had all that coming. Yeah. I am deeply offended, though, at the bullying portrayed, and I take absolute cross with that. You know, and Dan had this one moment that actually went a little bit viral in the political community that Steven notably ignored during our tit for tat. I'll play it for you here. And this is where I'm leading
to a lot of people, but just because I feel like there's a decent chance Steven Crowder will see this, and this will be the only time that I get to say this. Debate Sam Seder, dude. Stop being such a pussy. I know that your dad doesn't want you to, and you know, but that was a long time ago. That was you're 3 years older now. It's time. It's time to debate Sam. So.
And notably, he doesn't include this. He watches the whole clip, but not the debate Sam Seder.
Weird he didn't cover that part. He went into a lot of detail on everything else.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exhaustive detail. Huh. Now, who is Sam Seder? Sam Seder is the host of a political left-leaning show.
Yes, sir. My boy Sam.
Report. Has 1 million subs. He's a big channel. Crowder famously backed out of a scheduled debate with Sam at Politicon, earning him the name Cold Feet Crowder at the behest of his dad.
At the behest of his dad. That's great because, oh my God, how do you not have someone who's not your dad do your booking and you're Steven Crowder? Like, I don't get it, bruh. I mean, props to you, I guess. Keep it within the family because, you know, never mind.
Secretly recorded the phone call with the organizer of the event who exposed Crowder. Here's the call.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
I think you're bigger. Yeah, I
love how they violated him by using this extra young picture of him.
I don't know what his team is doing around him, and that's, you know, just for me to speculate at this point. I don't know.
He has a team? He has a whole team, and he won't do it? He can bring the team.
I believe it's his father, but I can't confirm or deny that.
By the way, everyone seems to be confirming that it's his dad doing all this shit behind the scenes somehow. So people speculate that he actually backed out of the debate because Sam is actually, you know, an informed, good debater, and they were afraid that, you know, Crowder would look like an idiot. And so he backed out at the last minute at the behest of his father. The thing is, he's happy to challenge me, somebody that has no political knowledge, very little. I don't spend my day talking and thinking about politics, nor am I a debater. Nor am I,
that's his strategy.
Let's be honest, intelligent. So let's be honest. So with all that being said, we figured let's get someone who is familiar with the topics, who does spend their time thinking about politics, and who is, you know, unlike me, smart. So we've got a little surprise for Steven Crowder. So let's all enjoy the debate.
Let's go.
I'm really glad to have my next guest on the show, and I've always said this. I always respect people who enter into the arena. And you know, we've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from like a Change My Mind, where we sit down and have conversations.
His head is very small in proportion to his body. I don't know why I noticed that, but it just feels like it should have been said.
But my old Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach always said, if you come a switch, we go switch. You go spicy, we're going to do a little spicy. So we always try and keep it as respectful as possible. And I really do appreciate the guy making the time, because a lot of people has a huge YouTube channel, several YouTube channels, one of the OGs. A lot of people watch him. You know him. Some of you like him. Some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3H3. Ethan, thanks, man, for making the time.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, I know you called me. You said that I would be a layup.
I think I used something like that.
And I think you're right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
Yes, sir!
Yes.
Sorry, that was loud.
All right. So,
Dan,
what we were going to talk about is the initial.
Fam, he knows. He knows. Look how his body. Look at this. Look at this. Fam, everything just dropped. Like he just got his voice started trembling. Hold on.
All right. So
Dan,
what we were going to talk about is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there.
He knows. He knows. Because when he saw him look over and say, Dan, whenever you're ready, I think he knows. Because keep in mind, prior to this, he's been monitoring Sam Seder's page. So he probably's like, they did it somehow. They did it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Shiver me timbers.
The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional.
His voice is trembling.
And was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe, and we talked about this through playful ribbing and an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh, no, Sam Seder.
Oh, no. That was the most genuine oh, no, because he really doesn't want to talk to him. Look at this.
Oh, there he is. Oh, no. Sam Seder, what a fucking nightmare. I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave, remember I told you?
So he makes him go walk over to sit down in the chair.
I said, I guarantee you, he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Well, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with, mental health issues. Ethan Klein doesn't stand up and do his own fighting.
I gotta say,
who are we talking about?
Let's bring on FM.
That you would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point that you made at the beginning of
Joe
this
Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky.
You know this is going bad when they just start screaming. They just have started screaming over each other. It's all going to shit. It's not. It's bad. It's bad.
And Sam Harris, everyone's been avoided.
He has not shown his face since he switched it to this guy that no one cares about.
Not just attempting to get your audience by jumping in.
Well, I debated with Charlie Kirk. Stephen, I mean, it's about issues. Let's talk about those issues.
That's what you're doing here.
Valid points.
You're so clever. I had no idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts.
Pig pen peanuts eyes. It's funny because, he got caught off guard, so he's reverted to fourth grade insults. And it's crazy because in this very moment, he's just admitted that the whole story about his pregnant wife having an emergency was fake, because he was watching Sam's channel and he did see that they ended his stream a little bit earlier, so that's why he backed out, because he didn't want to talk to him the first time. So he thought by scheduling a week from then at the exact time Sam's supposed to be live already, that he could escape the smoke. But he obviously couldn't. So he lied about his wife having an emergency in order to dodge Sam Seder. That is low.
You take those off with the velveteen buttons.
We must have been very worried about this, Stephen. I don't know why.
No one's worried about it.
So
Sam. I didn't want to do it.
Let's have
Sam,
a debate.
Come on, I'll tell you what. I have a general
This is a
rule.
great opportunity.
I don't start a debate based with people on a lie. And how about you get
sabotaging?
How about you get
Stephen,
to
show yourself, you coward. Stephen, show yourself. Don't show your co-host.
Ethan, you should show yours.
Auto ship with Pet Supplies Plus is easy on your schedule.
Boys, I don't believe I care about.
Delivered to your door.
Ethan, how can you respect yourself as a man, brother?
Stephen, you are such a coward. Stop showing your little left.
Don't talk about Ethan believing in something so strong. You know that they do oppo research, okay? They do opposition research. If they didn't do opposition research, they wouldn't have known that Sam was taking off his show early, because there was a shred of a possibility that he could be trying to ambush Crowder. He knew that this was going to happen, and he knows that Ethan is not politically minded, which is why he got into the debate with him in the first place. If Ethan was some leftist giant who's smoking the horizon with his facts and logic or whatever, he wouldn't be talking to him. He will never debate Vosh. He will never debate Sam Seder. He will never debate anyone. Well, except, I guess he's debating him now. But he will never do anything like that because they actually know what they're talking about. He has to go after people who don't know what they're talking about. So you can't be like, oh, yeah, I can't believe you didn't debate me, the person with all the media training and the conservative who particularly chose this debate because I knew I wasn't going to lose it. Unless, of course, someone was brought in.
Leprechaun co-host who comes out dressed like your sidekick.
Leprechaun co-host.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. So you have a guy with less viewers to come on to debate him because you...
Less viewers? You guys are like 40 and 30 and you're talking like rice gum, which is exactly what we're going to talk about later. What? Less viewers. Doesn't Steven Crowder have like 6 million subscribers and Sam Seder has 1 million? Like, gee, what is we so 3 million is less, but that wasn't brought up. But now you're just trying to find any reason to justify why, oh my god, you've done us so wrong here.
Well, obviously, if I'm a layup and not a debater.
Well, look, you're the one who got
the one that got angry about it.
Steven.
Who got angry? Only people who are angry are these guys. Nobody got angry.
Let me hear what Pigpen has to say here really quick.
Fair enough.
But Ethan, look, I don't. Hold on a second, Ethan. This is because initially I came on here to talk with Ethan. Ethan, come on, man. Look, the same reason that I haven't ever had a conversation with Sam Seder is the same reason that Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro don't owe him anything. It's based on a lie, Ethan.
What's the lie? And owe him anything? No, he's just asking to have a conversation. And it wouldn't have happened. He wouldn't have given two. He's not antagonizing Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro didn't back out of a debate with him. Fam, you were supposed to debate him. You thought it would be a good idea, and then you realized it wasn't going to be so, or your dad realized it wasn't going to be such a good idea, so he backed you out of it. That's why Sam's been on your case.
Just like you claiming my Ethan. What's the lie? You claiming my booker reached out to you, Ethan, when you know that's not true. There's no one ducking you, Sam.
I've never afraid.
Sam,
listen, I think you're a smart guy.
I can call out Mike Tyson.
Understand why
it doesn't mean that I'm ducking him.
You are so worried about this.
What? What? No, it's not like it. Okay, talking about, oh, I'm ducking him. It's like you were ready to fight Mike Tyson. The match was already scheduled, and then like right at the weigh-in, you were like, nah, coach, I'm good. And then he's like, nah, come get the smoke. Why you running from me or whatever? And then you just deliberately ignore him, but watch his every move to make sure that you can never run into him again. Then people would clown you like that. What?
Why do you feel that anyone, Sam? Why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience and you've been doing?
Sam, Steven Crowder, can you do math, Steven Crowder? Let's go to YouTube. Let's see if you can do math, Steven Crowder. Hold on a minute, Steven Crowder. Let's see if we can do math here. We got 5.49 mil. Yeah, let's go. Sam Seder. I don't think that that's a 40th. Or whatever he said.
I don't think I feel that anyone, Sam, why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience?
You can't do math at all.
You've been doing
I don't think anybody owes me airtime. I think that Ethan has just given it to me. I didn't ask him for it, and so
no, you've been begging for a long time with everyone bigger than yourself.
Why are you so worried about engaging with me?
And so what happens is
he can't build an audience, which is exactly why the Majority Report has been around for like 10 years. Sam's been doing this for a long time, but he can't build an audience.
So 15 times more.
Do you think
has
your
less than a
audience
50th of the audience?
Well, that's why he wants to debate you, is so he can build his.
Do you think
come on,
your audience cares that I only have 1 million subscribers and you have what, 6 or 7 million subscribers?
Let me answer. Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question? Sure. Do you want me to answer your question? My audience would say Sam who? Just like Joe Rogan's audience and Ben Shapiro's and Dave Rubin.
Who I am.
Now they all know who you are because you have.
No, they would already know who Sam is because you've been ducking him forever. And on top of that, that doesn't matter. You do literally change my mind. They aren't going on the social media on Instagram to see how many followers and if debating this random kid on this college campus is if he's relevant enough. They don't care about that. They want to see you, Steven Crowder, own the libs with your superior logic. So come try to do that with Sam, but you'll never do it because you know what will happen.
Had to shoehorn yourself into another coward show.
Which is exactly why he's in the same call as him right now, and he can't even formulate anything to attack him on or have a discussion. He's just yapping and yelling because he's caught off guard.
It's like Joe Rogan's audience and Ben Shapiro's and Dave Rubin. Now they all know who you are because you had to shoehorn yourself into another coward show.
College students, every day that you do that, change my mind.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
They don't know who those college
students are. This is another lie. This is another lie. Let me clarify, Sam. Let me clarify, Sam. The change my mind, everyone knows on the show, right? We've had professors on the.
How did you know I ended my show early last week, Stephen? If your audience doesn't even know me,
because you're an idiot, and half of your staff doesn't like you.
That's not an answer. He just said, you're unknown, you have a 40th of the viewership. My audience would say, Sam who? Then how do you know him, and how are you watching his stream to make sure that he ends at the particular time that he's supposed to end, so that there's not a shred of a possibility that he could come and debate you, ambush you? How did you know he ended his show early if nobody knows who this guy is, but you were stalking him to make sure that you could never debate him? Because you knew if it would happen, something like this would go down. So
because I'm a diehard fan.
Yes, it's because he's a diehard fan.
If you're a diehard fan,
but I just met you.
Why not?
Congratulations, Sam Seder's fan.
Stephen, have a conversation. I will
talk
talk about
every time I try and talk, you're interrupting, Sam.
Stephen.
Right now, I'm trying to talk with you. You're interrupting, Sam.
You bombarded the show.
Okay,
you bombarded my show under a false pretense. You claimed just like you claimed that I ducked the debate with you under a false pretense. Have I ever?
That is what the Politicon people told me.
Oh, is that what they told you? So you're just lazy with your research?
And if Big Tech,
you got a phone call.
You need to research and say, did Steven ever accept?
They said you were.
Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. Hey, whoa, Sam,
and you literally.
Sam, sweetheart. Sam, fake stand-up comic who we can't find any footage about online.
We don't know who you are, but we did Oppo research to find out that you did stand-up and that we can't even find any footage of it. But we don't know who you are. Makes sense.
Stand-up comic.
Oh, you're not? Okay, that makes sense because everything that I've seen is incredibly unfunny and unentertaining.
Well,
which may explain
coming from him. Coming from him.
Alert, Stephen.
Comedian.
Thank you,
Stephen.
Sam,
can
I answer your question?
Appreciate our discussing things.
Samuel, can I answer your question?
Yes.
So you have gone on, you've done the same thing with other comments. Everyone has a bigger audience than you. Because you said, I want to speak with Steven Crowder. You believe that at some point there was some acceptance? When have I ever done a Politicon? Ever? As a matter of fact, in the last decade, I haven't done a single political conference. I hosted CPAC for 4 years and stopped.
Didn't he like harass Cenk Uygur in public while he was trying to do like a political thing? This isn't even an argument. You can't say, oh, I have never done it before, therefore, no, you accepted it, and now he's going to try to lie and say that he didn't back out. You accepted it to do a Politicon, you backed out of it, and now you are living with those consequences, but you're trying to play it off as, I never accepted, so therefore, shut up.
Because they suck. They don't pay, and they're full of losers.
What about Gavin
and you've been
McInnes'
clamoring
show?
for it, and
Gavin
it's a lie.
told me that you dropped out of doing his show because
this is just hearsay and
gossip. Oh, it is Gavin McInnes.
I've never met more of a woman.
Career when he wants to keep debating.
Reload it, ting.
4 years and stopped because they suck. They don't pay, and they're full of losers.
What about
and you've been clamoring for it, and it's a lie.
Gavin told me that you dropped out of doing his show because
this is just hearsay and gossip.
How can you say
I've never met more of a woman.
This is just hearsay and gossip. I've never met more of a woman. Fitting coming from Steven Crowder. I told you we're on like 4th grade level jokes. Oh, women have cooties, girls have cooties. Oh, it's basically essentially the same thing. It's just gossip. I've never met much more of a woman. It's not a surprise. Steven just isn't comfortable around a woman. He just isn't. I never would peg him for the type to not be comfortable around women, considering that he sits there in a very masculine holster all the time, you know.
When he wants to keep debating.
I don't know. Talk about any of this.
All right,
Let's talk about the issue.
So,
the
Ethan, do you want to have a conversation, Ethan?
Let's talk
about the vaccine, because
Ethan, do you want to have a conversation? You're going to hide.
Absolutely, I do.
Big tech.
So why are you hiding behind Sam Seder?
No, me and Sam are aligned. I'm not hiding. He just
you're just a liar.
So you're a liar.
Because remember we said, hold on a second.
I mean, it sort of feels like
it's
you
ridiculous.
guys are the ones who are hiding.
Really?
No.
This is actually
who snuck in on you?
Who's the guy who never appears on stage, never does a live show,
but it's
never even allows a shadow of comedy to be perceived on his program? It's just
He's funny.
Right. Everything we do is out in the open. H3.
Steven, you're wearing a holster.
We agreed.
So what?
Hold on a second. So? I want to normalize responsible gun ownership. Is that your debate?
They finally gave him something that he could respond with the talking point for, so he's happy now.
No wonder you had to bring in a hack for you.
You're talking about comedy.
That's not very funny. You have a holster, bro.
Also, your sponsor is Spartan.
He takes advantage of mentally ill women for a show.
Is about gay boy love.
Okay.
All of it.
All right, Sam. You got it. You got it. I hope you have a wonderful highlight reel.
Don't leave.
Hold on. Let me just make one point.
Hope you enjoy Politicon.
Hold on, let me make one point, Steven.
Take it easy.
Steven, don't bail.
Guys, I appreciate it.
Don't bail, you coward.
Hey, Sam, one thing before I go. Can you take off your glasses?
Hold on.
One thing before I go. Can you take off your glasses?
We just want to see.
Oh,
I just want to see if you take them off, if you have the Velveteen Rabbit buttons. That's the only thing I'm curious about. It's the only interesting part.
Oh, that was the comment. Oh.
It's a soul.
Let's debate.
Take off the glasses.
Let's debate, Steven.
Don't hide behind the glasses.
Don't be a coward.
Don't say let's debate.
He said don't hide behind the glasses. It completely encapsulates the conservative thinking to say something anti-Semitic while simultaneously saying don't hide behind glass that we can clearly see you through, because that's all that they do. They mask their racism and they mask their stupidity behind the thinnest pane of glass that everybody and their mother can see through with half a brain cell. So, I mean, it's fitting that he said that, I guess.
Ethan, you
don't leave.
Debate the issues. What does it matter who you debate, coward?
All right, good. You guys are good. Thank you.
Coward.
Won't even take off the glasses.
Oh, he's panicking.
Right, you can
You run away twice. Cold feet again.
Come on.
He's panicking. He left.
Wow. Dude, I can't believe he admit to following.
Yup.
He admitted that he followed the show last week.
We got him.
He admitted that he watched the show last week.
We got him.
Early.
Dude, we played him so hard because he literally was following. He saw that you went live, dude. We fucking got him.
Oh my God, we fucking nailed him.
Holy shit. So do you want to respond to, here, you want to throw him up, Dan? Yeah. Do you want to respond to anything he said now that he's not talking over you?
Well, I mean, look, he's obviously lying about the idea that he wouldn't want to do a debate with me because his audience wouldn't know. Here's a guy who literally tracked my show last week because he was afraid that this would happen. Here's a guy who claims to have watched, I don't know what it is he said he watched, but he's not worried about audience not knowing who he's debating because he sits down with random college kids and sandbags them on their campus. I have the recording from Politicon when they called and he backed out. I have emails from Gavin McGinnis, whose show I would have never gone on, except he offered up a debate with Crowder, and Crowder left. And so, you know, I think Steven is afraid of debating somebody. You know, look, I do a political show every day. It's dry, it's boring,
it's obvious.
and you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And so if he
afraid.
wants to debate the issues, what's the difference between me and anybody in the world?
I mean, only that he is convinced that for whatever reason, he's nervous about debating me. I don't know why. I don't know why that's the case. But I debated Charlie Kirk at Politicon. It was fine.
Because they aren't good at debating people who know what they're talking about. Because when you're not sitting down with college students on a campus who don't have anywhere near the media training or conversational experience when it comes to certain issues, or the talking points at hand ready, or the editing power over videos, when they don't have any of that, you can just sit down and rattle off your things because you've had these conversations a billion times before and you've prepared it for days now, and you could just make them look stupid, make yourself look very smart. Not even necessarily about making the college kids look stupid. It's about generally making the left look stupid, because a lot of people on college campuses tend to be left-leaning, and it's about making yourself look smart, because look, you couldn't even respond to blah blah blah. Never mind that this is an opponent who really shouldn't even be compared to me because of all the media training and experience that I have. But when it's someone who has the same amount of media training, same amount of experience, but actually knows what the hell they're talking about, they balk and they leave and they run away.
Good job. I think Steven's not a total idiot, but I also do think he's a bit of a liar.
I mean, yeah, we even went through the effort of...
I think I'm going to leave it there, so we can get into some other things during the stream. But yeah, that is, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Xander donated 10? Wait a minute, when did I not see this? I didn't even, wait a minute. Thank you, I appreciate it. That's the second time you donated, I'm pretty sure. Thank you very much. Evil Vampire has subscribed. I appreciate it. If you guys are not subbed, please do so. Hit the notification bell as well. And if you want to donate anything to our stream, then you can put that in the description, or the link's in the description. I'm stupid. But I think now I'm going to actually move into my Discord, because me and some of the guys are going to talk about some things. I want to see. First of all, I'm going to check in and see if they're actually there. But yeah, no, that whole thing, Tim Pool responded to this too, and it's hilarious. I'll probably check, hold on, let me try to check that out real quick. How long is it? If it's overly long, I won't do this. I won't do it, because I want to get into other things, but let's see how long it is. I saw Progressive Voice responded to, oh, that's me. Tim Pool. Oh, no. Oh, no, it's 21 minutes long. I want to check out their reaction to it.
We'll share our home address for French fries.
It's easy to be unsafe.
So I gave
Nah, Xander's a god.
Tim asked me to come on a show. I can't remember how many years ago it was. And we had Tim on when he was doing video at Occupy. 10, 11 years ago, maybe. And then he asked me to come on his show a couple of years ago, before he got really big, I think it was. Maybe just as he was. I don't know. I really didn't have a sense of what he was doing. I just felt like, I get asked to do it. If I have time, sometimes it takes a while for me to, and I forget. But I went and I did his show, and I don't remember much about it, to be totally honest. I just remember him saying that I was like Thanos, and I had yet to... My son was only 5 at that time. I had to wait until he became 7 or 7.5, maybe even 8, before I found out who Thanos was, and we watched that movie together. And Saul really enjoyed that movie. I didn't, but at that time,
you tripping?
Tim had said I was like Thanos, and frankly, it really didn't mean much to me, and it still doesn't. And then Tim put out during COVID a call for people to debate him from the left. He said nobody would do it. And so I said, I'll do it. And then he gets back to me and he says, okay, how about next, whatever, Monday? And I'm like, sure, let's do it. And I said, Zoom or Skype or whatever it is. And he said, no, you have to come into studio. And I'm like, well, I can't come down on a Monday. I do a 5-day-a-week show, and I've got 2 kids.
He's in D.C.
I think he was in D.C. or Maryland or somewhere around there. I don't know. But B, dude, I'm not going into a closed studio with you with a pandemic going on. Like, I'm not in the, I know guys my age who died of COVID, and I'm
not to mention
going...
like your situation with your kids and all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure Tim Pool's studio is in his house. I might be wrong about that.
In
but
his
I saw somebody
house?
say that.
That's what that money do, because Tim Pool has a wham audience too.
I'm not going to do that, but you know. And he said, "Well, I can't do Zoom because I don't have the internet in my studio or something to that effect." And I was like, "All right, whatever." But recently, obviously, I'm vaxxed. My situation with my kids are a little more settled. They're back into a routine now. They're going to school. They're going to camp. And so I said I was open to debating Tim, but Tim has now apparently found a reason not to disinvite me.
Uh-oh.
He said that he couldn't do it because he hosts his own show. He did mention COVID, to be fair. But then he turns it into this tweet where he's coming after me, implying we were unsafe when we followed every COVID guideline. We have hand sanitizer everywhere, and we were allowed to do the show as per normal guidelines.
We have hand sanitizer everywhere.
The room is extremely well ventilated. You can probably hear the fans. But Sam thought it would be good to lie, to make things up, because he never wanted to come here in the first place. And even after he knew it was in studio and the 13th is open and we will pay for everything and he agreed to do it, it was all just a big con. Sam Seder is a lying coward. And that's why people like Steven Crowder should not debate him. And that's why Steven was right from...
He's so hurt that his boy got exposed. What is going on?
For cutting him off and saying no. And Ethan Klein is damaging everything, making it all worse because his interest is personal gain for his pop culture crap. He doesn't know what he's talking about, so he would rather watch people suffer if it gives him a few extra
Suffer!
That's
Suffer! Because getting ambushed by Sam Seder is suffering.
Ethan Klein.
Oh, he's very impassioned on behalf of his friend Steven.
At least we've got to the point where we're acknowledging Steven's suffering. I think that's a big milestone.
Yes, I know. Well, I mean, Tim's begun to accept it. Maybe he heard it from the horse's mouth.
So to be clear, going into a closed studio with ventilation was perfectly in line with the CDC guidelines, and I was lying by saying that I didn't want to go into his studio during the height of a pandemic with the second wave coming. And incidentally, if you go back, I think you look at those tweet exchanges, or maybe it's in our DMs, he denied there was a second wave coming. And in fact, there was a second wave coming. I think he asked me in, sometime in like November or October. I can't remember exactly. And I said, there's a second wave coming.
Notice how he left that out and just said, he mentioned COVID once.
And there turned out to be, yes, quite a bit of a second wave come December, in fact.
Indeed, bigger than the first wave.
Hand sanitizer everywhere. So
hand sanitizer, of course, for a disease that it was aerosolized.
So stupid.
And it's like, and it sort of depends on where those vents are, frankly. If the vents are behind him, I'd be more interested in coming than if they're behind me. Let's put it that way. But nevertheless, as soon as I'm vaccinated, I'm willing to go. And now, conveniently, he is so appalled by me that invitation won't happen. A real lost opportunity. Everything is ruined.
Yeah, I think he's playing up his anger towards the whole situation in order to justify him saying, I don't want to debate Sam anymore. Because I don't think a reasonable human being gets that angry, because he didn't kill anybody. He just ambushed freaking Steven Crowder and said, hey, let's talk about COVID. I think he's playing up how angry he is just to find it out.
It is ruined. It is ruined.
Suffering.
But
you soiled it.
The fact of the matter is, these people care about free speech. They hate the idea that you could be demonetized or kicked off platforms. They would never, ever do this. They bemoan the blacklists that exist in media for people like that. For them, but not thee, or vice versa. I'll let Tim explain.
Sam Seder's blacklisted by a lot of podcast networks. I'm not exaggerating. This is not a joke. Yes, there are many large podcasts that have outright said they will never work with him, and it has nothing to do with being afraid to debate him. Sam Seder's off the list. This guy is a manipulative, lying con man. That's why Crowder doesn't want to have anything to do with him. That's why all the people Crowder mentioned don't want to have anything to do with him. And that's why Sam Seder makes all these videos, and he focuses on drama. I mean, the man's obsession with Dave Rubin is laughable. It's absolutely laughable.
I'm so confused.
my first night
and I should
there.
take your advice,
You see
Xander, and
this
get
guy.
YouTube Premium. But you know what?
But I'm not
Well,
laughing.
it's quite fun, to be honest with
Like,
you.
if it's laughable, you usually laugh, but anyway.
Yeah, right.
Well, we will get to Dave Rubin today, incidentally. But we should say that, you know, obviously, anybody who's watching this video can test Tim's premise. Our show is not a YouTube show like Tim's. I've said in the past, I knew someone who worked with Tim at, I think it was at Vice, if I remember correctly, who visited Tim back when his place was in New Jersey. Tim specifically said, the great thing about this is I barely have to do any reading and I am making a ton of money. And he has made a huge amount of money.
You never lied.
For someone who has no idea what he's talking about. You can go and look at the long form interview we do almost every day on this program. Today it was
like
I think he's done reacting to his thing.
That's Tim Pool, ladies and
Tim Pool is a moron, to say the least. I'm not even gonna get into him, but I think he's played up how angry he is at the whole situation just to kind of justify him not wanting to debate Sam, which I guess none of these guys want to ever talk to him, so that's that. But I'm gonna join into the Discord call now. We're gonna move on in the stream, and yeah, no, that was something. That whole Steven Crowder thing was something. He's very smooth brain.